everyone, it looks like we are live. It's so great to see you. I hope everyone is having a great week. We made it to another Wednesday, so that's exciting. And this is, I think, like part 7 of this painting. And how long is this painting going to take until it's finished? That's exactly how long. So there's not any kind of rush. We are just going to make it happen. That's it. And you know, when this is over is when it's over. So I did some work, not much, between the end of last Wednesday and today. So I'm happy the way it's going. I'm just kind of letting it happen. I'm not forcing anything. Some things that were really cool, I did put in the Wicked detail, which is a transparent, the detail raw umber. I put that in my airbrush and I glazed over the dress, and it just really hit the color that I wanted. So a lot of times, you know, glazing, you know, you put down a lighter color and then glazing a darker color, it's really nice. So so definitely think about that. I want you to be like chess players, right? So you know, if you are thinking of changing the color, lighten it. So when you do come down and glaze it, the value will kind of fall in line. You can't glaze on a color that's the same value of what you're putting on there. It always has to be a lighter value. It can't be a dark value, because if you put a lighter or transparent on a dark value, it's not even going to show up. So definitely think about that in the future, guys. That's very important. So let's see who we have today. So I'm always excited to see the ink flingers out there. Mr. Roy, Color Graphics from New Jersey, great to see you. We have Astro from the UK, United Kingdom, always a pleasure, sir. Mr. Dan from Indianapolis, so great to see you. We have Raul, fellow Jersey guy, how's it going? Great to see you, my friend. So what a great group of people already. Who's here is who's meant to be here, and that's how I look at it, and that's how I'm sticking to that story, you know. We're going to do a combination of airbrush and brush techniques, hence the wet palette over here, and then we have the Extreme Patriot Arrow. So in my advertisement for this live stream, I wanted to talk about real quickly of what's going on right now with the airbrush world. Everyone and their brother and their brother's uncle's cousin are doing videos on this particular airbrush. You should get this airbrush. You should get this airbrush. I got it at Harbor Freight, and it's great. And I got this airbrush, and it's the Harder and Steenbeck whatever. And then I have this airbrush, and it's so confusing. And so what I would say is, you know, why I choose Badger. And the reason why I choose Badger is that all their parts are interchangeable. So let's say, like me, I started out with the Extreme Patriot. There were some things about it I didn't like. I didn't like it had a big trigger. I didn't like the back. I couldn't get to the needle. I didn't like the way the pack valve was. So you're able to mix and match different parts and kind of make your own adaptation of what you feel. The great thing about Badger is that the fundamentals are there. The needle sits and is well centered at the nozzle. The air valve is well done. The parts are ready available. So those are things that are very important. The company's been around a very long time, and they're going to be around a long time, so you're always going to be able to have support. So that's why I have Badger. Stick into an ecosystem where you can stay within that ecosystem, as opposed to Badger, Harder and Steenbeck, this one, that one, that one, this one. If you can pick one and kind of like live with it, is probably your best route to go, I would say. So that's why I like Badger. I think, like I said, the DNA is great. You can make all different changes. The Sotar 2020 Slim is amazing airbrush. The Extreme Patriot Arrow is amazing. My customized Extreme Patriot Arrow is over the top, if anyone is interested in that. But I'm not saying it's better than the airbrush, but don't get hung up on what's going on with the over marketing of all these airbrushes and flooding and of all of it over and over again, and all these videos of this airbrush and that airbrush. I feel sorry for someone coming in to the airbrush world right now. It's just so confusing, and it's all marketing. Don't mistake that it's just marketing. And why I love Createx. I like Createx because they have us in mind. They have the airbrush artists in mind. They're looking for colors. They're looking for consistencies and mediums that will help us make this airbrush flow beautifully through the airbrush. They're for all artists, not just custom painters, but you know, canvas and easel painting like me. And so, what a great company! They really have good fundamentals. They listen to their customer base, and they take good care. I do like Golden, but not as much because we're an afterthought with Golden, us airbrush painters. So, great product, but I have to go with Createx because they're going places, and they're going to come out with the most amazing airbrush paint ever invented, over and over again as they keep formulating and reformulating and listening to us. So those are two very important things that I wanted to talk about because there's just this flood of information, and I keep quiet, but there's a time when you just say, come on guys, stop confusing people with all these different airbrushes, all these different things and these gizmos and gadgets. It all comes down to finding what you're comfortable with and then continue down that road. Most of your 80% of your concentration needs to be on the work and looking at other artists and learning and going to live streams like this. That's so important. So if you see 10 more airbrush videos out there, watch them, but just realize it's marketing. It's just trying to get you to buy 37 airbrushes, and it's not geared to make you a better painter. The two companies, I feel, Badger and Createx, are companies that are geared to make us better artists. Gary, how's it going, my friend? Great to see you, sir. Hershey, Pennsylvania. Always a pleasure. So that's my thoughts, and I wanted to talk about that in the beginning. Hey, Wendy, how are you from the Dallas, Texas area? How are you doing? Always amazing to see you, Wendy. So, it's just crucial to, to just, realize that you're all great artists, right? You're all amazing. And, and I just wish that, you get inspired and you keep painting and create great work. Everyone out there is talented. All the airbrush artists are just super talented. And we'll just concentrate on that. Eastside 1019, how are you? How's everything? Great to see you. Are you from the east side of New York? Or Eastside High School in Patterson? So let me know what Eastside means and where are you from, my friend. So Astral says, the only one I haven't used is the custom Micron, but I have an Olympus Spa. Olympus went with to Iwata. Iwata is such a good brand. I would be silly to say anything bad about them. They are an amazing brand, and if you're in that ecosystem, just continue. Harder and Steenbeck, you're in that ecosystem, you feel comfortable. No reason to, spend the money and going with that, Enjoy what you have, and if you really see a need, then go ahead. But try not to get hung up on these marketing marketing videos. That is just, hey, we tried this one, that airbrush, So anyway, that's my little spiel today. So here we are, and you can see I'm working on the interior of this young lady, where she is, and it's so important. And so I want to try and continue that. I think I'm going to start coming in with some of the opaque colors. And so I want to start coming in with Wicked. I started today, maybe around 5 o'clock with the Detail Raw Umber. And I'm falling in love with the Wicked line again. I really am. It's just above and beyond the colors that you have. Every color that is here, they have it. In the Wicked detail line, they have every single color that's there. And I mean, and that's amazing. So they give you the tools to paint anything that you want. So I want to find this color right here. It's sort of like a opaque cream. So I'm going to find that color right now, and bear with me, my friends, as I do that. Come over here, and let's see. How would we get this color? That's the question. Okay. And Wendy, how are you feeling? How's your wrist? I'm always thinking about you and how you're feeling. I know you're having some health issues, and let me know how you're doing. And let's see. So I'm happy with that. And okay. It's just I'm going to find that color in just a moment, guys and ladies. And let's see. All right, so I think I have that color mapped out. And so my color theory is about to happen, which is very exciting. So I do see what I have to do to get that color. And so it looks like I'm going to be using Wicked, of course. And I got a new set of these 500 cups, which is great. And Eastside 101, yo, I'm from the Windy City, Chicago. Fantastic. Very cool. So are you a Sox or a White Sox, Cubs fan, my friend? So the color, the main color I'm looking for is like a kind of yellow, orangey yellow color. And if you ever see you're going in the wrong direction with a color, then don't be shy to just go in another cup if you're going the wrong direction, right? So here I'm going the wrong direction. It's like a super reddish color, and that's not the color I'm looking for. These are not the drones you're looking for. Let's see. So I have this color and the gray and this orange and some blue. Let's see. Okay. Come here. All right. So I use a lot of cups because I'm very exact with how I mix my paints. So when you do that, you're going to mix a lot of cups, or mix with a lot of cups. Let's see what we have. And it's a little bit on the yellow side, so I'm just going to add a little bit of the red here. Kind of adjust it. Getting there, a little more red. That's looking pretty good. Maybe just a touch more red, just a little tiny bit. And I'm using the detail mixtures And in this detail, it's 3-to-1 with the 4011, and I pre-mixed my primaries. I might have went overboard, like that hasn't happened before. Okay, that's very close to the color I'm doing. I might go with a lighter version of it, but let's see. I'm going to dump out the raw umber that I have in this here. Here goes nothing. Now it's a little dark, so we're going to see if we have to go lighter, and that's okay. All right. And let's see who, yes, White Sox, very cool. Love the White Sox. And, oh, thanks, Wendy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And Wendy says she gets her cast off on Monday. Oh, having pancreas issues. I'm so sorry. Please take care of that, you know. Make sure you're eating and everything. So let's see. Do we have Mr. Brad Mummery? How's it going, my friend? So sorry I didn't see you. All the way from Manitoba. How are you, sir? And Brad is having a one artist show coming up. That's very exciting. So now I'm going to get my reference here with Pure Ref, and we're going to see if this color is doable. So you know what I'm finding? That a lot of times when you mix your color and it looks right in the cup, it's not quite right when you actually put it on your surface. So you always have to adjust. There we go. And I just plan on coming back and forth, but what I want to do is just, you know, and I'm going to go over the lines, the linear aspects, but I think it's more important to get the colors correct, the atmosphere or the ambience of the scene, right? And this is actually correct. So the color picking method that I have is really amazing. There we go. And you see, we're getting that kind of beige color that's in the painting. And remember, it doesn't have to be, oh, Astro, that's cool. You're getting some congratulations there, Mr. Brad. Well done. And let's see here. It's always like, we can always get caught up in the details, right? And I have that. So do you guys sometimes get caught up in the details and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I missed that, you know? Does that ever happen to you? So I want to thank God for today and giving me breath and having great people like yourselves here at the live stream. I'm so thankful for everyone to take time out of your Wednesday just to hang out with me, because I look forward to this like crazy. If you guys knew how much I look forward to these live streams, you would be like, Tim's in balance, he needs to get a life. But I really do, and I'm not ashamed to say it. You all are a very important part of my week. So just thank you. Because, you know, painting is a very solitary act, isn't it? It's really, you know, it can get to you, you know, being by yourself and, you know, and if you're a full-time artist, it gets even more lonely. You know, I used to work in customer service, you know, for a major company, you know, in the corporate offices, and that was nice. I got to see people at lunch and people who worked in the, you know, the office next to me and stuff like that. That was fun. It gave me something to look forward to. But now I'm a full-time painter and it's lonely, you know? I mean, I love it. I wouldn't want it any other way. This is definitely my thing, but it does get lonely. But Wednesday nights and hanging out at Steve Leahy's live streams, Bill Snagan's live streams, It's a lot of fun. When I get a chance, I don't have a class. You know, Scott McKay's live stream is amazing, you know. So here's another thing. So with my airbrush, okay, I think we've seen enough of me. So let me go ahead and get rid of me. No one wants to see me. Let's see. We are, okay. So when your airbrush, sometimes your paint might be too thick, right? And there was a whole thing about adjusting air pressure and everything, and I really feel that's wrong. You set your air pressure at 25 and you set it and forget it. When you're doing stuff like this, you're not talking about t-shirts or anything, but doing stuff like this, you know, very thinned out paint and everything, you're never going to need anything more than 25 psi. So that's why you set it at 25 psi. So if you're going close and you're worrying about spidering, you can always lower that pack valve. If you need more because the paint's a little bit thicker, then you could raise it there. But you're never going to need to raise it over 25% when you're doing this type of work. And so, you know, when you're doing easel painting and stuff, 25, set it and forget, it's perfect. If you're doing t-shirts, that's a whole different animal. And that's, you know, t-shirt guys are the guys to talk to at that point, because that's totally different. Wendy says this is her only social life. You know, it's true, right? You know, it happens. And so that's pretty cool. Mr. Dwayne, how's it going, my friend? So glad to see you, San Luis Obispo. Go Mustangs, not banana slugs. And Dwayne says he tries to minimize missing things by completing areas and moving along. That's pretty cool. You know, there's both ways are valid approaches. In my oil paints lately, in my oil painting portraits that I'm doing that. I'm kind of concentrating on one side and moving along. And I'm doing that more and more. But, you know, there is no right or wrong way. But it's cool that we have these, you know, different routes that we can go. I'm going to look at under here. I like this color. Maybe we can just kind of bring this. Now this is a kind of a yellow orange. So the orange moving closer to yellow right here. And I'll clean it up as I go. But really enjoying it, and you see you start getting clarity where you didn't have it before. And Dwayne says he starts with a focal point and moves outward. A lot of artists do that. And it's true, Dwayne. It's all about what works for you. And there's no right and wrong. It's all, and you know, and I'm sure, Dwayne, you'll know that some paintings you need to approach it differently just for, you know, the nature of that subject, right? And as you can see, I'm starting to come in with the that beige color, which I will adjust as I go. And now, so we may keep that on there, I'm not sure, but I do have the Extreme Patriot 105, which is customized by myself. Same great detail, everything's the same customized needle, same customized spring on the, whoa, guys, something just happened. That was weird. Guys, look what happened. The hose actually broke. Only in live stream, right guys? Look at that. That was really violent. Let me go turn this off. Wow, has that happened to you guys? Where your hose just completely breaks off like the metal? I mean, yeah, you know I airbrush a lot, but what do you think of that? That was actually really frightening because it was really just violently just popped. And thank God I was holding the airbrush because the airbrush would have went flying. Look at that. Look at that. It's not like the quick connect. The quick connect is stuck, but this right here came out. Isn't that interesting? On live streams you never know. So guess who's buying a new hose? So now I don't know if I'll be able to get the I'm going to put my Extreme Patriot arrow here. But okay, so here's the piece. Oh my God, no. This is the quick connect. Oh no, this isn't the quick connect. The quick connect is over here. So this piece broke off of here. Has anyone seen that before? Oh, definitely not going to fix a $20 hose. I'm going to chuck this hose and get another hose, but that was quite fascinating. Made in China. I think it's an Awada hose. But so here's the hose. So that's an interesting discussion for the live stream, isn't it? You just never know when stuff like that is going to break down. So this right here, this completely broke off. And that's amazing, isn't it? So, yeah, so very cool. So we're down to one airbrush so far. We're going to stick with the Extreme Patriot arrow, not the 105. And so what I'm going to do is I'll put this airbrush aside, put it right here, and I'm going to dump this out. Yes, we'll dump this out and we'll put in another color. So guys, it was the quick connect. Was it the quick connect? So this right here, okay, I'm a little confused exactly what just transpired. All right, so we are going to be using the 105 because this one is missing the quick connect as well. So I think it was kind of a violent malfunction. That's why it popped so much. It was really a violent malfunction. And Gorilla Glue. I'm going to put some air on me. That's why you keep a backup. So true, Roy. You have to, right? That's super glue it, as Mr. Astral says. That's so funny. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my white and orange mixture. And this is great. You should actually have a bottle of your white and orange mixture. I made this back on the 24th of January, and it's still good. Let's see. Dwayne says, Brad, thank you so much, my friend. Always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to hearing all about your show. And so proud of you, man. I think you have something like, is it like, how many pieces are in the show? How many artworks are in the show? And it's just such a big deal. And I just want to say thank you for your friendship. And thank you so much for your support, my friend. I rejoice in your success. I want you to know that. And I'm praying everything goes really, really well, which I know it will. So that's cool. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to use my orange and white mixture. Now, I do have... That's interesting. Okay, so I'm going to clean this out. So, Brad, thank you so much for that support. I really appreciate you. And, you know, you really help keep this channel going. And this is my only job. you know. So I just want to say thank you for that. It really, really is very much appreciated. So I had white in this airbrush for God knows how long. That's weird. Let's see if it comes back to haunt us. It should. I think I had white in this airbrush since Saturday. I was having a class and I was setting up to do the underpainting, and I told the student to put white in the airbrush. I did. Then the class was canceled for unforeseen reasons. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, I still have the white in there. How weird is that? And okay, so let's test it out. Look at that. I just have to say, I'm so thankful that the Extreme Patriot Arrow, I had white in the airbrush for 4 days. That's crazy. And it still worked. And I'm not saying that's because it's a badger or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm really happy that it still worked. Okay, so I'm going to get my handy dandy stencils, and we're going to basically cover everything but her face. Let's see. And I know it's here. Oh, I do have her hand. That's nice, but let's see. I'm going to look at this together. And I'll move everything all over the place. I'll pick everything up later. It's more important to be quick with you guys so you guys can enjoy the information. Okay, so I do have this, and we'll put this up here. And I'm not really using it as a spray guide. I'm just using it so I do not have too much overspray. Overspray is evil unless we want it to happen. There we go. Look how beautiful her face is. Not because of my painting, because she has a beautiful face. That's what that's about. Dave the Bug Gregory, how are you, sir? How are the new digs? Are you all moved in? And I was thinking about you and wondering how's everything down in Texas. I can't wait to hear. And you must be exhausted, right, sir? So thank you so much for hanging out and taking the time. I really appreciate that so much, sir. And Colette, how's it going? Great to see you. Thank you so much, Colette. I appreciate your encouragement so much. Thank you. And so here goes Nuttin'. I love that commercial, Nuttin', honey. Okay, so we need our magnets close to the edge. And here goes. Dun, dun, dun. It's going to hit the zygomatic, but really I want to kind of assimilate what's going on her neck area. So Colette, you missed it. My airbrush exploded. See how I'm calming down with the white mixture? Just smoothing that out. I'm going to raise that air pressure a little bit with the MAC valve. So that is actually recorded, and when that happened, so I was explaining about why I love my Extreme Patriot Arrow, and all of a sudden it went pow, and the hose just broke right in at the joint there, and it was so loud, and I left holding my airbrush, not knowing what was going on. It could have been really bad. Like if I was holding the hose, my airbrush would have went flying. So I'm happy that didn't happen. So you see how I'm just kind of smoothing things out? That's the great thing about Wicked. You can keep going back and forth. What about her forehead? Yeah, we can smooth that out a little bit. So I have the Depressa Angulite Oris there. My cat got me. See that right on the pinky? See how I'm just softening things up a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to go back and forth. Alright, so now we did that. So, well, right here by her eye, we can soften that up. And, so Gary says, Gary, have a great night, my friend. See you next time. Take care. Have a great weekend. I hope to see you on Steve Leahy's live stream. So, always a pleasure. And take care, my friend. Mr. Dwayne, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for your support and all your knowledge. I'm working on Wicked colors today because I just can't stay away from them. But Dwayne is such a crackerjack when it comes to working with Wicked. So if you have any questions, he's definitely the go-to guy. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time to hang out at this live stream. I really appreciate you. See how I softened everything up? Because I'm going to come back, right? I'm going to come back and darken it up. So let's move on to her hand, right? We're going to come down here. And you see we have little rough spots on the hand. So we have this orange mixture. Maybe we'll just make it a little bit nicer. We got a long way to go, so I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Wow, Dave, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it, sir, after all the moving and everything. So thank you for hanging out. Thank you for your support, sir. Always amazing. And how is everything? How's the neighborhood? Are you happy with the neighborhood and the school system and everything? I know everything. You really can't make a judgment until you've been there a while, right? So just praying that it's everything you guys want it to be and everything you need in a new place. Just calming down that hand a little bit, you know, it needs to become, great neighbors. That makes a big difference, sir. It really does. I'm so happy. And Wendy says, be careful of the weather. It's been crazy this year. Yes, tornadoes and such, right, Wendy? Here it's been just very seasonable, not much happening, which is great news. Except for earthquakes, you know, that's it, you know, but besides that, it's been pretty mellow. And you see I calmed down that hand, and the orange and white mixture is really fantastic. So what I did is I took the illustration white and some illustration orange, and pretty much 20 drops to like maybe 3 drops, and then 1-to-1 with the 3-to-1 with the 4011, and it works really well. And I keep this here, and I've been, you know, using it. And you can see I use it a long time because see these rust spots? That's the little BB in there. It gets rusty. And so I need to get different BBs than those I have because they do rust. And I know it's not going to affect the colors too much, but it will affect the colors, right? So, loving this orange and white mixture, everybody. And, you know, you can get a little more brave with it. And what I mean by that is, you know, like, you know, right here, I can always come back. So I'm just going to really lighten things up. Okay. All right. And then the forehead, I can always come back in with tone again. And I'm going to come in with like a golden tone. There we go. So now I lightened it up. And remember I was talking about how glazes, you have to set up a glaze before you put it in. So I'm lightening things up so I can come in with a darker transparent glaze and really get the effect that I want with her. So let's lift this up and just see what we have. So one of the things I like doing is when I want to see what it looks like but I don't want to move my stencil, is just kind of make like a hinge, right? And then we'll just lift it up. So you see I did lighten her up a bit. We got to put some blood back in her face and her hand, but we're setting up, right? We're setting up for this golden, beautiful golden flesh color, right? Just really nice. Dave says he will figure it out if the water starts to rise. Oh my God, be careful. Okay. Now, what we can do, so we're working with one airbrush today because I think we can work with two airbrushes. So right now I have this color in here, so I'm just going to switch airbrush, I have one hose, right? One hose, that's it. Poor Tim only has one hose. How sad. Okay, so we're going to leave the orange and white mixture in the 105. But here's the conundrum. Conundrum is I have to get a quick connect, and I do have it over here. And I'm also going to get my fan. I'll be right back. My one fan in the world. Let me see. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so I have the part. It's in my airbrush tackle box. You guys all have an airbrush tackle box? There it is, the last drawer that I looked under. So here is my airbrush tackle box. And let's see, look at all the gizmos, doodads, and everything I have in here. Just all these like really weird things in here. Razor blades, eye water wrenches. Everything but what I'm looking for. Let's see. Here we go. Bam. We're in business. And now I have my fan. I'm going to turn this on because it's getting... I'm not going to be okay until November because it's hot. There we go. See that? All right. I'm going to situate this. Okay, let's see if I missed any conversations. Oh, look at that. Wendy puts oil colors in her tackle box. And Dwayne says he has an airbrush roll-away. Very cool. And it's like 1 degree cooler. Okay, cool. Good information. And never throw anything away, Astral says. So true. And Dave says, you're killing me, Wendy. He grew up in Vegas. He knows dry heat. but his run this morning was a little different. Oh man. So yeah, you know, totally different weather patterns, right, sir? Totally different. All right, so here we go. So my quick connect is what actually got damaged, I think. It might not, it is the hose as well. Let's see. See what happened to the hose? This whole thing just sort of came out very weird. It was just, see this? This is the two pieces. So this is supposed to go in there, and then this is, oh, it was, see, it's supposed to look like that, and the whole apparatus just kind of pops. So all of these hoses, they do have a half-life, right? They're not going to last forever. Is that correct? What you, like Dwayne and Mr. Dave and everybody, have you found that they do have a sort of a half-life? Okay, let me dump this color out here. All right. I go through paper towels like you guys would not believe. I'm going to buy some stock into Viva paper towels. Okay, so let's wipe this cup out. We're going to go in with kind of a fleshy orange golden color, and I'm just going to make sure I clean. So we have a color that was kind of in that direction working on the background. And Dwayne says, cut the end off of the metal bar back and zip tie it, and you will get through till the next hose arrives. Wow, that's pretty interesting. I may try that. And Astral says he never bought a hose since the 80s. Oh my God. You know, I think I went through like 4 hoses already. And so I kill hoses and I kill computers because I really work those things to death. My studio is where hoses go to die, you know? Alright, so now I'm looking for this golden color. I can use, but I'm going to be sticking with Wicked today, right? So I want to use this, I want to get this fleshy color, golden fleshy color. So we're going to start with the light and go darker. Let's see. I'm going to do that. Beautiful color. And just getting those elements. And all right, now we just go ahead and facilitate the method. Oh, I got that portable fan. Does that feel good? Wow. Okay. So I think I know the ingredients. And we are in business. Okay, so now we get one of our million cups. And we're still going with that kind of yellow-orange color, which is really nice. And this is pre-mixed. I got the pre-mixed yellow-orange color. Has and the pre-mixed color, of course, is 3-to-1 with 4011 and the Wicked brand. And Got some 4011 reducer, your friend and mine. I should take stock in 4011 reducer. That's really cool. Okay, so we're mixing this. We got the 4011 in there. Let that cook. And now what I'm going to do is get the other elements. So let's see. Dwayne says he goes through a hose about every 6 months. Wow, I could see that. And Mr. Dave says he had a hose get too close to the space heater, but it was only the failure. Wow, that's amazing. And Astral says he must be in the right climate for hoses. Yeah, definitely. I think heat does, because now that I think about it, it was always warm weather when those hoses went south on me. Those darn hoses. I don't need no stinking hoses. Okay. Let's see what we got. Very close, but what happens is if you do too much of one color, you end up getting something you don't want. It's close. And then you got to make some like artistic decisions, right? You know, you do have some of this deep olive color. You know, you can go ahead and mix and match to kind of bring it to where you want it to be. You do lose a little bit of your transparency, however. That's okay. It's a give and take. Okay, so that's the color that I think is okay. It's a little bit dark, but I think when you spray it, it's not going to be. So we put a little bit of a thicker color in there, so let's 4011 it a little bit more. Ooh, I'm out. I got more. Okay. All right, so now we have, you know, it made it through the whole hose debacle. Put this over here. All right, always test out your airbrush on a similar spare paper here. Oh yeah, so that's nice golden color, right, which is good. Slip off the hose. Wow, Colette, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate you. All the way from Wisconsin, nope, from the Atlanta area, just outside of Atlanta now. I'm so excited, and it's great working with you, Colette. Thank you so much for your friendship, and thank you for all of your support and being here, and you know, watching you grow as an artist is so fantastic. I really appreciate it. So now I think I could go ahead. I can go ahead and put all kinds of things. You know what I've seen someone do is that whenever someone does something cool like that, everyone can go ahead and do a bunch of emojis like this. Have like an emoji party whenever someone does something cool, like Brad's show or Mr. Dave Gregory, you know, going ahead and, you know, moving and everything. So let's do that. Whenever we're happy, let's just go and make a bunch of icons like this. That's always fun. Kind of, yeah, there you go, Astral. Very cool. So we can celebrate each other and show our excitement. So that's cool. So, you know, think about that. It's just one way to kind of bring the live stream alive, you know? So it's just a pretty cool thing that we can do. So thank you so much, Colette, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put our magnets back, and we're going to come in with this kind of golden flesh color. And oh, those are some colorful characters. They are. It's really neat, you know. And let's see. Okay, I'm also going to start a poll, which is really cool. And here's the question. Did the airbrush hose explosion startle you? And that's an easy yes and no. There we go. So I got I want to hear if the airbrush hose explosion startled anybody. It's kind of, oh, color graphics, very cool. Colette with the, it's so cool you guys put in the emojis. Thank you so much. That is so great. And so, oh, 83% said no. 80, oh, look at that. No yeses yet. Okay. So no one got, well, if it's 86%, then somebody must have gotten, it must have startled somebody. Oh, look at Wendy with the skull and crossbones. Very pirate-like. Arr. Which is so cool. That's so much fun. So I appreciate everybody. Yeah, I love the fun side of everybody. And, you know, with the live stream, you guys hear me talk. This is a one way of you guys expressing yourselves, I think. So, arr, yes. That's true. Shiver me timbers. That is so fun. Okay, so now we are going to apply some of this golden yellow. Put some light on the subject. Why don't you, Tim? Just a little bit. I don't want to overdo it. So if I have a further distance, it'll be like a light glaze. And Astral says, grr. Brad says, don't forget to smash the like button. Thank you, sir. Yes, the like button is always fun. And I appreciate that. For those hoes made me limber. Let's see. We have, whoop. So 11% said yes. Very cool. So we have, it scared the heck out of me, guys. You know, I didn't know what was, I was just holding the airbrush. Like, why am I holding the airbrush without the hose, you know? And that's funny. Mush that thumbs up button. Thanks, guys. So I'm coming in with the lighter golden color. Not golden acrylics. These are Createx illustration. No, these are Createx Wicked detail. With just a little bit to give it life, I put just a bit of Tim Gore's Bloodline, the natural. It really does. It's like that missing ingredient, the lifeline. So I highly recommend that, everybody. A little bit. So I'm like maybe 4 inches away, and I'm just dusting that color ever so lightly. It was like an airbrush airbag. Bloodline, they should call one DNA. That's true. That is very cool. Let's see. So right here, we have a little bit of that golden color on that hand. Not too much, just enough. Got that beautiful hand. We got to make sure that we continue to make it beautiful. Okay, so now I want to come in. I know, he's like, Tim, you're mixing another color. I know, it's crazy. 90% said no. Okay, so cool. And so that's exciting. And so I'm going to do another poll just for fun. So we are going to end that poll with 90%. Okay, so that's cool. So 9 out of 10 is like no big problem. So there was 10 votes. So 9 said yes. And so right here, I'm going to go and we're going to start a new poll. And we're going to, the question is, do you love AI for helping with your artwork? That's going to be the poll. And all right, so start that poll and we'll see what you guys say, because I always love hearing what you guys are all saying. Wendy says she loves AI. Give it a vote right there. I'd love to hear. So while you guys are voting, I'm going to be mixing. So I want to keep that same color, but I'm not going to mix. I'm just going to kind of, yeah, maybe I'll mix. Okay, so I have the color here. And go back here. Okay, so I see the color I want. And now what I'm going to do, let's get the ingredients. Okay. Ooh, look at that. 67% said this is a much more even poll so far. 67% said that they are into AI for what it does. I'm not talking about the cheesy AI art. I think we all hate that. But, you know, AI as far as helping us with our artistic goals. Okay. I do see the ingredient. It does work, but I think it may be too dark. So I'm going to mix a lighter version of it. Or I may just go with Tim Gore's Lifeline. So we'll see. Okay, so the color we start with is Your Friend and Mine, orange. And I have it in Wicked. So let's see if it's open. Not open yet. I know I have a Wicked orange open, right? There has to be. This is Detail Orange. It's not open. I hate opening up a fresh bottle. It's like breaking a 20. Okay, so let's see. We're going to have to open this bad boy. So this is, oh, this is Wicked Opaque Pyro Orange. That's a little too, I think that's a little too opaque for me. Okay, here's Detail, Wicked Detail Orange. It's not open, so we're going to open it. And look at that, 57%. It's evening out, you know? So that's great. And maybe when the poll's over, I would say at 10:40, maybe we can discuss it as we're working on this painting. I think that might be a lot of fun to hear your thoughts, because, you know, I really care what you all are thinking, and I want to hear your thought processes and reasoning. Very important to me. Respect your thoughts and everything. And writing, yes, it does it for me. Yeah, writing is great, isn't it? With AI, it's so, especially fiction. So the airbrush hose was 89% to 10%. How did that happen? It's like we lost 1%. No brain cells were killed in the event. That's funny. Okay. We only need a little bit of this color. Tiny, tiny baby amount. Not much. Okay, so we move this aside. So today's a Wicked day, right? And now I'm going to come in with my other ingredients. If you were my other ingredients, where would you be? Right over here. Okay. So right now we have yes at 62%. So far it's leaning towards AI, everybody. So that's wild. And I have more 4011 lurking about here. And let's see, where is it? Now this you don't want to go ahead and compromise and not use 4011 here. There's no using water with Wicked. Definitely not. Oy. Okay. Here is a fresh bottle of 4011. Your friend and mine. And Wendy said, I just write podcasts, dump it all in, AI spits it out. How great is that? That is great, Wendy. And Astral says, does AI use a toothpick? That's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have a 3-to-1, and now we're going to get our, this is great. You know, I don't like those little sticks that people use. So when you're mixing color, a lot of times you'll see that one color is much stronger than another. So even though the mixture may be mix this and that, you will have the ingredients. But the thing is, what happens is that it's not taking into account that one color may have a lot more pigment strength. So, you know, it's always a variation. With Science, some Wicked Orange. Okay, so I love Wicked Orange. Sue me. Let's see. Almost there. It's almost getting there to where we want. We almost want like a rust color. Now I can take the easy route and just go with, you know, what is it, red iron oxide, but I want to mix the colors. And Mr. Gregory is cracking up, and Wendy says she asks AI to write her a letter, which has always done before, and it told me it wasn't allowed to write one for her. And I was like, do I need you? What do I need you for then, right? Okay, so I kind of changed the proportions, and I'm getting what I want. I think when I'm mixing colors, it's a few times in life that I actually get what I want. So I did finally get the color theory 100% down. This is something that is airtight now, and I'm really very happy. So that's the color that I was after. It may be a little bit on the dark side, but we'll see. Okay, so I have this color here. See that light? I'm going to keep that orange color. I want that orange and white color. I need that color. So I'm going to dump this color out, which is that beautiful golden yellow. So here's the method of my madness. I'm going to add a little bit of this, because by combining the two, we're going to get the transition. So we're going to go from light to dark anyway. So that is kind of a nice rationale. It's not so much color theory, but color intuition. It's different, right? All right, so let's see. He heard there is a student chat. Let's see, the icon is missing, so I'm going to see your full comment in a moment. 56%, 56 to 44 for AI. So we are kind of torn, aren't we, between AI and yes or no with it. And I think that's pretty much the way that, you know, the art world is, you know. Okay, so now we have this, and we're going to do the transition colors a little bit. I'm going to zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. Always have your reference, right? You always want to be doing that whole working light to dark. Some say in oils you should work from dark to light. I think that's hogwash. I work from light to dark always. Okay, so you see I'm getting some color there. And so I'm going to go use Little Boy's Room, talk about AI, and I'll be right back. Give me about 2 minutes. Thanks, guys. And I'm going to zoom out of this for now. So that's where we are. Let me just darken her a little bit. There we go. Don't go away. Okay, guys, I'm back. Did the hose break while I was gone? Hopefully not. Let's see. And let's see what we have. Did anyone leave? Nope, everyone is good. By the way, I voted on the AI. What did you say? What did you vote on? Because we're at 60% now. So 60% say yay and 40% say nay with AI. And so what I like to do is I keep going over it, right? And then I'm going to come back with the orange and white mixture and assimilate those colors and keep going until I get the framework I'm looking for. And the cat attacked it. She's in the other room. You know, I don't put that by her. She's amazing. She attacked my pinky, right? You guys can see that right there. All right, so now let's go to her face, and we're just going to keep going back and forth with the color. This is definitely eyeglass territory here. Kind of going back and forth. And let's see. She's on a kill spree. That's funny. So we are at 60% now. So it's getting heated. The yes or no with AI. And see how I'm just kind of going back and forth, assimilating. And now I'm going to come back in with our orange color, our mixture of this darker color with the golden color that we were using. It's a little precarious with the airbrushes using one hose, but we're going to get through it. Hot chat, questions and all. Very cool. And Astral says he works on some building work on a U.S. airbase in the U.K. and it was like being in America. How cool. So we are going to close the discussion. So 64%. Let's see if we can get a couple more people to vote, and then I'm going to close it. So I'm going to close it at 10:50. That's Eastern Standard Time, of course, or Daylight Time, not sure. So here we have that golden color. See how we keep going back and forth and working from light to dark, and then just slowly. So I'm going to be like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do a light dusting from like maybe 8 inches away and just dust that. And then, especially where it's showing too white. So what happens if you use too much white? Your colors start to get chalky, and that's not good. Hey, Mr. Bobby, how's it going, my friend? Always a pleasure. How are you feeling? So glad you're here, my friend. Looking forward to our class this week. As always, me and Bobby are doing a painting of David Bowie, which is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying that, working with him. And here goes nothing. And this is the orange-white mixture again. And go. And you see how we just slowly, by going one layer to the next, just start to get that kind of smooth, beautiful transitions that only the airbrush can give, right? Which is really good. So interesting. And 64%. So we are done. So 64 to 36 with AI, which is really neat. So we'll close that one out and poll. Now, here's an interesting thing. I want to hear, so there it is, 6336, 11 votes. And so we're going to do another poll, and this is going to be fun. This one, you can't say me because I'm not fishing for compliments, so you can't say me. I want you, not that you would say me, I want you to say, so the poll is this. Okay, this is going to be a good one. Oh, this is a yes and no, so we're not going to do that. So we're not going to do that one. Oh, it's a yes and no, so I have to say, okay, let me see. Oh, let's see. So I'm looking for a good question. I may do a poll. Let's see. So we had AI, so that's always a hot topic. And okay, here is. I'm going to do a poll. Not a poll, but a. So this is a Q&A. And let's see. Okay. Make sure I spell it correctly. Okay, so this is going to be good. Okay, so the poll is up. And the question is, who is your favorite airbrush artist? And of course, you can't say me. So that's good. Because I want to hear all about you guys, what you have to say. And okay, so you guys see the poll? So let's hear what you guys have to say. So I think, so okay, so we have Chris Foss, very good. And that's interesting. Does he do auto body like with cars? I'd love to hear that. I think that's who he is. So that's a good one. And living or dead, definitely. A lot of great ones who have passed away. You know, Steve Driscoll, you know, a lot of wonderful artists. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts, definitely. All right. And what color we have here? This is our white mixture. See how I'm just softening up her face, making it look like an oil painting? It's really nice. That's a cryptic question. Favorite, how? Okay, very good. So I would say, you know, what artist like inspires you the most, right? You know, who is your one artist that kind of gets your creativity started boiling, you know, that kind of thing. And Drew Blair, great answer. Everyone knows how great Drew Blair is. H.R. Geiger, yeah. My dad loved him. Aw, Tim. Thanks, Wendy, but we can't say me, but I really appreciate you. So, Steve Driscoll, Jonathan Pantaleone, Corey St. Clair, some ideas. So it's very cool. A lot of great people who kind of inspire us. Uh, Drew Blair is definitely a huge inspiration to me. So I would probably say Drew Blair for me. I would definitely go with him. Even though I don't paint in his style, it still inspires the heck out of me. Ooh, Raul. Yeah, hey, Raul does some amazing stuff. Yeah. Raul is definitely worthy of that because his work inspires the heck out of me. So thank you so much for that, Mr. Raul, for all the hard work and sharing your work. I mean, you definitely inspire me, that's for sure. The one he did of the girl on a motorcycle and the light as it was hitting the jeans, it was just like a little strip of sunlight that was peeking through, and it was just amazing. Just love that painting. Oh my God. Super painting by a super artist. Okay, so I'm done with this kind of mixture color, but let's do another layer. And we're going to kind of come in, hit that dark, and then maybe darken it later. But let's see. And see how wonderful it is to work from light to dark and really be deliberate in your approach. It's so important. And then when we come into the darker color, everything's just gonna sing. And then we come in with the paintbrush and just really bring it on home. That's something Harvey used to say. He says, come in with that highlight and bring it on home. I used to love that. I miss Harvey so much, my mentor. Notice I'm waiting to come in with that light color. So here the dark of the zygomatic, see how I just indicate that? So simple, yet, when thank you, Raul. That means a lot to me. If I can inspire someone like you, that makes me really happy. East Side, Corey St. Clair. Man, so Corey said something to me that really changed, and I was talking to Bobby about this last week. And he was the one artist who really talked about pumping the trigger. And I think it was the one he did of the skull, a realistic skull. It was really wonderful. And he said you need to pump that trigger to get the detail. And when he said it in that video, and you purchase it with Coast Airbrush, and when he said that, it was like, holy cow! It was like one of those light bulb moments, and that really changed me from like maybe being at a 5 to an 8 as far as my ability to get texture and control. So that was really great. What great conversation. See, I love these polls. I think it's really important. Uh, so that is so cool. And Soriyama, yes, I love how Soriyama mixes the brush and the paints, and it's so cool, and he uses the hair dryer. He has a great video that is just fantastic, so love that. And so Dave says his time with Drew has been broadening. Gerald Mendez, oh my God, yes. Scott McKay. Let's not forget the great Steve Leahy, right? Steve Leahy's work is insane. My knowledge of anatomy and how it reflects in the paint. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that. So the question is, Bobby, who's your favorite airbrush artist? It can't be me. And not that it would be, but I don't want it to be about me or anything. Like, who like really inspires the heck out of you? And so that's great. And thank you so much, Dave, for your answer and all of your participation in this. It's so cool. So I still have this kind of golden color. Now I could have done the Tim Gore's, but I really wanted to mix the colors today because I'm just going over my color mixing technique and everything. So one hose. So this is one hose Wednesday. That's what we're going to call it from now on. Tim's One Hose Wednesday. So on Wednesdays, I'm only going to use one hose. So Wendy, you are super talented in so many different ways. But Wendy, I know Wendy, if I asked her, she can find me the best rate on Amazon for a 10-foot braided hose. She would be back in literally 4 minutes with several. So Wendy is great with that. Great with so many things. Such a great mind Wendy has. If you ever talk to Wendy, you can just see she's a genius. And I don't say that lightly, but Wendy is a genius. 10 feet would be wonderful. See how, look at that, Wendy's already on it. She's just so cool. And let's see. So we have our orange and white mixture, your friend and mine. And, oh, it's true, Wendy. That's just fact. That I've never met too many people as smart as you. Okay, so we're going to kind of calm that down a little bit. Take it down a notch, as Amaro would say. A little bit of a leak on this air hose all of a sudden, so it's definitely an air hose kind of night. See how I'm kind of bringing that, a little bit of life in that. Okay, so I'm going to take this off, put this here. You can just see how I'm using one hose. It's really archaic right now to use one hose for 2 airbrushes. So, oh crap. So guys, my air hose actually popped, and let me see if it damaged my needle. I think it did. It looks like it's going north right now. It's such a weird day, you know? And I think it really damaged my needle. So let's see. You know, sometimes it doesn't damage the needle, but let's zoom out here. Guys, look at that. It did damage it in the fact that there is a little bit of paint coming out when I push down, but I can live with it for now. So a little bit of damage. So yeah, it's just just one of those days, you know, but the painting's going well. It's just, you know, it's a little weirdness here. I'm going to put this down, and I think it's this quick connect. Okay, I think that's kind of solved the problem. I do have other needles, so no worries. Yeah, it is bent a little bit up. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you. But it's not affecting the operation too much. Let's see if I can. See how it's bent a little bit up? So let me see if it's just, yeah, it's just slightly, but not too bad. I don't think it's like crucial. It's just a slight bend up, but I think we're okay. Okay. And we'll just focus. All right, so let's see. You need cleanse the area, Tim. Yes. I need a young priest and an old priest. That's funny. You obviously need duct tape in your studio. Yes. That is so funny. Get the file out. Yes. Brad says, well, he's got a big day tomorrow. Got to get up early as usual. Sorry to call it a night. Have a great night, sir. Always a pleasure. Good luck at your opening tomorrow. That is just so amazing. So God bless you. And, you know, via con Dios. Put holy water in your airbrush. You know, that really can't hurt, you know, definitely. So I'm going to keep this here because I still got the darker color to do, right? So I'm going to get rid of this light dark color kind of mesh color. I'm going to empty this. But you know what's important is that we keep our composure during all this, right? That's it. You know, it's not what happens to you, it's how we react to it, right? So, you know, we've had fun. We have great people here, so it's all good. It's all good in the hood. So I emptied out the mixture of the light and the dark, and now we're going to go with this full bore. Going to mix this stuff. Dun dun dun. Look at that beautiful color. And with my method I was able to nail it. And really fast too. Okay, so here we go. Right on my painting, look at that. I too like to live dangerously, as Austin Powers would say. And Wendy says she means, how would it be hurt? Be blessed, my ink. That's funny. Yes. Can always use blessings. Always, always, always. Let's go back. Okay. So now, here goes nothing. And it is a little, I don't have the exact control as I had before the fall. Okay, so I'm fairly happy with that thus far. Now I'm going to go back to the white. Well, I'm going to actually do that with some paintbrush technique. So let's chill out a little bit, Tim, and let's move this aside and see if we're happy with, you know, getting in there with a little more color. Let's see what we have. Okay, so yeah, you know, we have a little bit of a problem that we have to fix, but besides that, I think there's a little more life in her face. So now what we're going to do is kind of bring in some nice nice soft kind of definition in her face. I'm going to use the golden Naples yellow, and that's always good. Welcome to the crazy group. Hey Wines, how's it going? Good to see you. How's everything? So glad you're here. And so I just spilled some Naples yellow on my hand. That's always fun. And we'll put a little bit of this Naples yellow here. Naples yellow is really good to get a nice flesh color. This kind of congealed, so this is interesting and messy. I don't like messy. I hate messy. That's the one part of art I don't like. Don't like messes. Okay, so this is really thick, and that's good because thick is good when we're using brush techniques, right? We can always thin it out, but you can't make it thicker. All right, so we have that, and let's go ahead and add some white. So I am going to be using some golden white here. Let's see, we have some other colors here that I think would be really nice. We have zinc white, we have titanium buff, and titanium buff is really nice, and that makes a really good flesh tone. That's if I could find it. Let's see. So remember, anything goes when working on your painting, right? Anything goes. Don't let anything hold you back. Don't let any dogmatic kind of, you know, you shouldn't do this with that or anything. Anything goes. That's the fun part of painting, is that you can experiment and find new ground. And in that new ground, you could help others who might be having, you know, been stuck because of all the dogma that was out there. Sometimes the color gets really stuck. Okay, so we got that. More paint on my hands, which is always wonderful. Okay, and so it's a little bit, maybe just a little bit of this orange color up here. See this little bit here? Now that's wicked, so we want to be careful not to mix it because acrylics are not the same. Different brands, you got to be very careful with different brands because they have a different DNA. And that means the thing that the vehicle that kind of uh, makes the pigment liquidy. So I'm going to use a little bit of this transparent iron oxide, just a little tad there. That's also by Golden. Okay. So we're going to mix our Naples yellow and just a tad of this. See how we're going to get a nice kind of light yellowy flesh tone. We're going to see how it happens. It's all an experiment. So, you know, what's the worst that could happen is that you learn something. That's the worst that can happen, which really isn't that bad. See, it's always so much lighter when you put it on your surface. So just be careful. So you might have to have super light pressure. See how light that is? That's way too light. And so you have to be careful. And one of the things you can do is thin this out with water and then do it kind of a dry brush technique. And that could help. So let's zoom in on her face, shall we? Let's see what it does. So I watered it down, so it's still super light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to omit the white, and I'm going to do mostly Naples yellow and the transparent red iron oxide with some water. And we're going to see if this is a much lighter, a much more pleasing color, and it is. So we had to get rid of the white. And let's see. Wendy says, "Of course, you never screwed up, Tim." Oh, thank you. You could screw up. Of course, I could. I've done it so many times. And Astral says, "I think Tim makes up as he goes. Always, always, always." You know, you just gotta go with it. I think that's the beauty of painting, right? Is that, you know, I'm never happy with the status quo, no matter what I'm using. And anyone knows me, when I worked in airbrush, I'm not airbrush, pastel, I kind of put it upside down. And I'm doing the same thing now with airbrush, you know. I'm kind of going my own way. So you see, we had to actually get rid of the white because the white made it too light. So Naples yellow and some of this transparent iron oxide. And you would think the color is too dark, but it really isn't. And it's looking really weird because the fact that it's wet, it's looking lighter. I mean, looking darker, but it really isn't. It is quite light. And then once we see that, then we can come in with the whiter color or brighter color. I like doing dry brush technique, guys. And what's interesting, you can see how the light comes from the orbital ridge and it goes right down the zygomatic. See how it comes right down the zygomatic bone? The zygomatic bone goes to the outside of the eye socket and comes down, and it goes, you know, towards the back of the head by the temple and attaches to the temporal bone. And then it comes right over here, and this is where it connects, right at about the halfway point of where the the eye socket on the bottom. Right at the halfway point is where the zygomatic bone attaches to the maxilla. Now, a lot of people say, Tim, you're crazy for doing all of these, knowing all of these bones and everything, but there really aren't that many. So if you commit it to memory, once you have it memorized, it's over. You don't need to work hard anymore. Of course, you want to get better and better at anatomy, but the great thing about anatomy is that it allows you to kind of fill in the blanks. You know, like Jurassic Park, when they filled in the DNA of the dinosaur with frog anatomy. And I really think when I'm working on a painting, and in that painting there is not enough information, if I go ahead and know my anatomy, I can kind of fill in where I don't have all the information. So it's just like Jurassic Park. And so let's see what I've been missing. So we need another poll, definitely. Astral says, yeah, definitely. You gotta make things up as you go. And Wendy says, hey, you could use pastel on this. You know, it's true, I could use anything on this. There's no rules, but you have to always remember, you know, what's my intent. So my intent is to clear coat this, so that kind of takes away my ability to use pastel, but pastel is definitely on the table. There are no rules here. Whatever works. And if it doesn't work, we don't do it again, or we try it a different way. But I'm liking this Naples yellow color. And then we can come in with this ear. Her earlobe has a nice light color to it. So go ahead and kind of put that in. And it looks really messy, but it'll clean up as we go further out. You're seeing it all closed up, close up. And you can see as it dries, it kind of calms down. And don't worry how the painting's looking. Just keep at it, you know? Don't get discouraged. Stick with the program, right? You have to. We know that worked out. Hey, that's funny. And so I'm going to zoom out. You can see that it kind of brought some nice life to her, right? And let's see if we can bring that to her hand a little bit. I'm going to zoom down to her hand. And get rid of some of the messiness in there, right? So let's see. We're going to make this a shade darker. And we're going to come in with this Naples yellow, right? And the white. Actually, let's try first the Naples yellow and the red iron oxide, which is transparent. Naples yellow is a semi-transparent, so we're not going to get perfect transparent applications, but we will cover somewhat. See how that's a little messy? So we can kind of calm that down. The semi-opaque or the semi-transparent will cover our mistakes. I'm not really worried about how long this painting is going to take, so I do apologize if it's taking long. But you guys are kind of following my thought processes, and, you know, and I want to basically, if anything, share just, you know, how important it is to stick with a painting until it's done. Don't give it, you know, a time limit. Her hand is so much prettier than I have it. I do apologize, but we'll get our hand looking pretty good soon. Here, right here. We'll come here. And we have a beautiful light right there on her hand. And like I said, we'll get there, you know. And so, let's see. We have some people left. Thank you so much for hanging out this whole time. We have 10 minutes left. So the poll would be, this is a simple color. And I know everyone has it. Oh, here we go. Good question. So here goes, guys. That's the question, and I'm going to make it into a poll. So we're going to close this poll. We ended that one. Confirm. And now we're going to make a new poll. And here we go. And start a poll. And the question is, do you feel we need to paint in different mediums? There we go. Start poll. Forgive any maybe spelling mistakes or anything. So the question is, do you feel that we need to so 100% says yes. So that's cool. And Wendy says I do. Okay, Bobby says yes. So guys, hit that poll. So that's great. So we have 100%. Great information so far. And if anyone has anything to add in the comments, that would be great. I would love to hear that. So we have Bobby and Wendy with 2 yeses so far. So thanks so much for the great participation already. That's amazing. Let's go and work on her face a little bit. Her neck needs a little bit of work. So we're just going to glaze some lights here. It's interesting because this painting is kind of reminding me of the technique of Dante Gabriel Rossetti. He is the 19th century Pre-Raphaelite painter. So does anyone know about Rossetti's work? I'm a big fan of his. Gotta soften this here. You can't make a woman look too harsh. Definitely can't. If you make it look too harsh, you kind of miss the whole idea of painting a woman, which is to accentuate her grace. At least that's what I do. And I also work in, computer-aided design, right? Is that what it's called? Computer-aided design or something like that? That's amazing. I've seen that. So do you do like architectural renderings? Yeah, you're an architect, aren't you? You studied as an architect. Isn't that true? So that's a great thing to bring to the table. That's for sure. And we're just going to continue working on that ear. Okay. And what do we have in our airbrush right now? We have this dark color. All right. So again, we have a casualty. 2 casualties, a hose and a needle today. But we're up for the challenge, right? That's for sure. And so that's cool. So we have 100% in the poll. And me too, so that's going to be 3. Whoop, let me see if I can expand it. So we have, doesn't say how many votes. Nope, so right now it's 100%, so that's cool. Okay, so we have this kind of darker color. I'm just going to soften this up here. We can come down here and see if we can put some darker areas of her hand here. There we go. Oh, look at this. Mr. Astral says he's a poorly paid part-time painter now. Oh, well, I'm so glad that you're painting because the art world needs you, sir. So it doesn't matter how much you get paid. It's what you bring to the table. So I'm glad you're here. That's for certain. So to close it out, I'm going to go into my orange and white mixture. So changing airbrushes again. So kind of limping in with one hose. Let's see if we can just kind of soften things up a little bit. Soften up that hand. And then we'll soften up her face a little bit. Kind of hit that zygomatic bone again. I'd rather get the face perfect, and if I get some overspray on the hair, so be it. Hair is always much easier to fix. So I'll sacrifice some overspray on the hair to get a little bit of better skin tone and everything like that. And Bobby says, shoot, I don't get paid at all. Not yet. One day you will, my friend. You just got to keep with it. Money comes much later. And we just got to be patient, right? Still 100% on a different mediums. And Mr. Dave says, need or should? Do we need to? Should we? Probably yes. Yeah, I don't think we need to. I think it's just, you know, for you know, what, I guess it's more of a personal thing, not like a need that, you know, is a standard or anything. I guess I could have rephrased it as, is it best to know different mediums as far as a knowledge base or something like that? I think a lot of ways that I may be doing more innovative techniques comes from the fact that I do a lot of different mediums that some may say that I mastered the medium, such as pastel and oils and that sort of thing. And I bring that to bring back to the table of working in the airbrush. So kind of bring it all together, you know? So that's pretty cool. So we'll zoom out, and we didn't get much done, but we did, believe it or not. So we just keep going. We can see we assimilated things a lot more. I can come in with some more paintbrush techniques and kind of really just keep working until I feel more comfortable that, you know, I'm getting a likeness, but more importantly, getting a feeling of three dimensions in her face and having things anatomically correct. And not too yellow, not too red, a very balanced kind of approach. And Mr. Gregory says, sorry, I have been taking a lot of online tests the past few days. Oh, I see. So you're really uh, art- articulating it. I can understand that, definitely. Well, I hope these questions were a little more fun, Dave. And thanks so much for the super chat, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are all amazing. I just have so much fun on Wednesday night. It's great to see you, Wendy. And you all are just like super amazing. The super chats were really just out of this world. And just thank you for your support. But more importantly, thank you for hanging out with me. And look at that. It looks like an egg. An egg over easy. You see that? It kind of looks like an egg over easy. Anyway, I need to get some sleep. You guys have a great week and take care and look forward to next week. And I think I might have some really good news next week, but I don't want to jump the gun. Bye, everybody. You all are amazing.